Okay, we'd like to start off with the Lakers, who opened camp today. First preseason game is Friday at Anaheim against Minnesota, I believe. So I know we'll have a lot better idea next week on what they look like after we see them perform. But I'm a little excited about exhibition games, which I generally am not.
You know, with a team this young, the more reps, the more minutes, the more real type of play that they get, exactly. the better. I mean, this team is. We don't have to spell it out. I mean, they are young. I mean, they're
exactly.
young, a lot of experience. So the more touches that Lonzo Ball gets in preseason, and the more that some of the up and comers, you know, Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, and even a guy like Zubats, who looked, like we said, terrible in summer league. He's still getting the timing down with a guy like Ball, who really rifles those balls and gets the ball into your hands before you're really ready. So the more reps, the more minutes, I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah, I see where Ingram is already saying I want to lead this team in scoring, and I think I can with the ball I'm going to get from Lonzo. Mm-hmm. He's expecting a lot of passes, and I think it's going to be exciting. Like you say, they're young, they're going to make mistakes, they're not going to win a lot of games, but it's not going to be dull. They're not going to be walking up and down the court. They're going to be moving. And I think this plays into what Luke Walton wants to do. He wants to move the team, and I think with the youth, you got to expect the youth to be make mistakes, but they're going to grow, they're going to get better, and hopefully they'll show enough that will encourage maybe some of the free agents that are out next year to take a look at the Lakers as an option.
Right, and one of the things that was going on today after their first practice. Walton came out and said that the biggest focus of their first practice together, official practice, was defense. And again, these are kids who like to talk about scoring and assisting, and diamond and that sort of thing. And Walton really wants to ground them and say, you got to get back on defense, because you play good defense and you can run and you can break. And that's where Lonzo Ball in transition is going to get everybody easy points. But you don't get that when you're inbounding the ball from a dead stop after a score
going
for your opponents.
Going to that defensive glass and, getting that ball off the board and getting it outside gets you moving. When's the last time the Lakers were decent defensively? I can't remember. Phil Jackson was no defensive genius.
No, but even then, they had guys like during championship seasons like Artest, who were role players who could play good defensively. Kobe Bryant clearly was a defensive player of the year at one or 2 points in his career. So there were always guys, and even Shaq, they had a rim protector in Shaq. And it was always about team defense more. I think is what was lacking. From that, there was always a couple of guys who were going to be pretty good. I'm not sure where the defense is going to come from with this team, frankly, and that's why Vegas figures that they're going to win 30-ish games.
Well, that would be an improvement over last year.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're going in the right direction too. I mean, like we said, they're young, and it's now Laker fans can be excited because it's not that dark cloud anymore. There's sort of a light that's kind of at the end of the tunnel now.
Exactly.
Right. And I love that the focus is defense because this team seems inherently to look like at some point it's going to be a very good offensive team. They just need time. They need time to get cohesive and to get consistent. But, that's going to come. I think everybody just needs to temper those expectations.
Yeah,
like we've said before, somewhere between 30 and 40 wins is a successful season.
That would be a great season
for the Lakers.
Yeah.
That's something to be overjoyed about. And the closer that is to 40, and even if they're just on the outside of the playoff picture looking in, that's huge. A huge improvement.
Yeah,
huge. Because it's been a bad team.
Exactly. They've lost now 3 of their top 4 scorers. Lou Williams is gone. D'Angelo Russell's gone. Nick Young's gone. Clarkson's the only one that's back. Who's going to score?
Yeah, it's a good question. It remains to be seen, but obviously Ingram thinks that the mantle can be passed to him. Randall's going to be able to get you some points, and Lopez is there for double digits, and and now with Bogut, that looks like you can get 20 points out of your center position, out of your 5 position, and that's good. That's good for the the Lakers. Power forward with Randall. It just depends on who else they're going to, who's going to play. Is it going to be Kuzma? Are they going to, Thomas Bryant going to play a little power forward? Because he runs the floor well. He's just not a big body right now. He protects the rim pretty well. Luol Deng, is sort of that in between 3 and 4. What is where is he going to be? Is he going to get minutes, or
I wish he was somewhere else.
Yeah, they're going to move him in that big contract. So it remains to be seen. Clarkson looks like he's on the outside, sort of looking in. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, should be scoring. Clarkson's going to be the 6th man, I think, off the bench. So it's a lot depends on whether Ball can get the rock in their hands.
Realistically, what are we looking for from Lonzo this year? I mean, there's so much hype and so much off the court stuff. What would be? I assume he's going to be passing that ball. He's going to be focusing on getting his teammates in good scoring positions. But what would be a good season for him? Do you think he's going to score a lot, or is it going to be more getting his teammates involved in the high assists?
For me, and I think I tend to be a little bit more of a realistic Laker fan. If we see 10 points, 6 to 7 assists, 4 rebounds, a couple of steals, I think that's a successful season. That's a great season.
That'd be good, yeah.
I think to expect 15 or 20 out of him, maybe on a given night here or there, sure. But his 3-point shot still needs work. So to me, 10-7-4-2, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. That would suffice. Talking about a Laker-related issue, Carmelo goes to OKC, so they've got a 3-headed monster there. Do you think that should they have a decent season and make maybe a couple of runs in the playoff would prevent Paul George from thinking twice about coming to LA?
It may be. I don't know that there's anybody who's ever played with Carmelo who hasn't wanted to escape.
Well, that's true.
So,
yeah.
Well, they're basically the same position anyway, aren't they?
No.
Carmelo and George.
Well, they're scorers,
Yeah.
and Carmelo doesn't like to give the ball up. So. On paper, looks great.
Maybe
I think in practice, not so much.
Maybe that'll help George decide to leave.
And I just think too, with George, talking about how he wants to be a Laker and how he loves Kobe, I just still think he's in OKC, but I think the next step is just going west with him. I couldn't see him staying in OKC to finish out his career, especially with because Carmelo is a cancer. I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are plenty of New York Knicks fans that would absolutely agree with you. I thought Melo had a great thing going in Denver, and I never understood.
Yeah,
I never understood that. I never really could figure out what was going on there. And then for him to be the matchup, Phil Jackson.
No, that's not going to work.
That was never, ever, ever going to work.
No, that was doomed.
That's for sure.
Yeah.